My name is Jaclyn Pearson, and I'm a first grade teacher at Brentwood School in Illinois. Today, I get to share The Paperboy with you, and I am so excited. This book is about a boy and his dog who decide to go on a paper route very, very early in the morning. As they go on their adventure, they see all of the things in nature and in their surrounding that excite them and bring them peace all at the same time. By the end of the story, the boy has made his way back to his home and into his bed to get a good night's rest. My favorite part of my students' reaction to this book was that they couldn't believe a boy had a paper route. You know, we're in 2021. I teach first grade. They are 6 and 7 years old. And the thought that a boy who's not much older than them would go on his bike by himself into the community and deliver papers astounded them. So first and foremost, that was hysterical. It made for great conversation about how they are very different than the boy in the story, but also then creating those text to self connections. How are they like the boy in the story? What things do they do that are the same? And what things about the boy's life are the same as their lives? One lesson that you can use for the Paperboy is story elements. Every grade level covers story elements. It doesn't matter if you teach kindergarten, 5th grade, or beyond. And this book is wonderful because there is a definite main character. The setting changes throughout the story, so you can talk about the who and the where and the what in the setting, as well as the plot. There is a definite beginning, a middle, and end that students can follow almost seamlessly. Another thing you can teach in this book is responsibility. We're all looking for ways to fit in those SEL lessons throughout the day, and this book fits in great with responsibility. The boy has a paper route, and even if your students don't have a paper route, there are probably things in their life that they're responsible for. The last thing that I thought would be wonderful for the Paperboy is talking about adjectives. Throughout this story, the author makes mention of different ways that the morning is cold or the boy has an empty bag, and your students can really grasp onto those adjectives and use them as mentor sentences. The lesson that I think would be most perfect for virtual instruction is inferencing. The wonderful thing about the Paperboy is that there is no dialogue. The entire thing is told by a narrator. So if I was specifically teaching this lesson for virtual instruction, one of the things I would have my students do is create the thoughts and the speech bubbles for both the boy and his dog throughout their adventure in the story. Students could come up with what the boy is thinking, how he's feeling, and since they can create the dialogue for the story, they can create the story to be all their own. So the idea that came to mind when I read The Paperboy and trying to think about how in the world can I incorporate music or art, what could I do that would really bring this story to life? And the first thing that came to mind was a soundtrack, because it talks about the boy waking up. And it's dark in the morning. And then the boy tiptoes out of his room while his parents are sleeping and into this dark garage and then out into the night. And so what I thought about doing is playing snippets of music for my students, just, 10 to 15 seconds, and then having them decide what music matches a portion of the story and really helping them turn this book into a motion picture in their mind. The Paperboy is a great book for teaching foundational story elements, visualizations, and responsibility. I recommend adding this book to your classroom library or your home library as soon as you can.